Greetings, everyone. We are going to go through my Taskmaster today. The Taskmaster is basically a glorified to-do list. It's got color coding, it's got a countdown, it's integrated into a calendar. It's a CRUD system, so you can basically create, read, update, and delete any of the items. And on top of that, you can download it and share these tasks with everybody else, and they can integrate their list with yours, so on and so forth. So let's just say that, I'm going to go ahead and play some sports, and I need to get this done. It's going to be tomorrow, and it's kind of an elevated priority, so, all right, fairly simple. The elevated priority, as you can see, is the orange, and it's 1 day away. Now, I've got, let's say I'm going to add a new item. It's a test of exam, and it's really important, high priority, and I need to study up on it, so it's going to be on the 23rd, so let's just go ahead and do that. And as you can see now, as I roll over it, it has the tooltip that has HTML offers. So you see the first two letters and then the tooltip, so that way you can have enough space for the rest of the cell to have other things. And like I said, it's just a to-do list, so as you go through, you can mark them off as done or just delete them. It doesn't really matter. And let's say you wanted to bring in some other list as well. I will do that. And I have the option of uploading the whole thing and deleting all these or merging it. So I'll just merge, and boom. You can see I've got all these other things now. Now, it is working off local storage, so if you're going to clear out your storage, you've got to make sure to download the file, which would be something you would do right here, and then here's where you upload them. So you can share them with other people or pass them around. And obviously, if you need to edit something like, school exam, and it's actually the day before, that can be done. And so there you go. Now when you start deleting things, it starts taking them out. When you go over here, obviously it writes it again and again. So how did I get the js-datepicker to do this? This is just the js-datepicker, mind you. I'm not utilizing the JavaScript that they offer for you to do any of this. The js-datepicker, if you look at their code, it comes with this data direction attribute. And what I do is I run a for loop or a for each through the document, and I find each one of these data directions elements, and I apply the date formatted with the year, the month, and the day into this data datenum attribute. Now, once I'm into the attribute here, I've got my hooks in it. I know what that cell identifies as, and so in which case I can compare it with my events, and I'll say, does it fall within this day? And if it does, then I can write the event in its form here you see on the calendar. But that's really it. I mean, you can do this with so many other things. If you roll a for each of these elements and you do something like this to where you can identify each cell in the calendar, you have your hooks in it. Who cares what the person wrote for you to do? At this point, as you can see here, what I'm doing with my Taskmaster is I come through and I take a look. And that very important part of going through, and I basically take out and separate out all the that day attribute, the day num. I take out the hyphens, so it's just the year, the month, and the day all in one. It's just a number, and then I basically compare it to the date of the item that is actually being the event that was listed. And so basically, if I do a comparison, does it fall within these days? And if it does, I write it out with the color code and its title, and it's been identified here as a badge, as you can see. So, and as you roll over it, you can kind of identify with the tooltip that it tells you what it is. So that's pretty much it. And this is the calendar, the js-datepicker that they provide from npm js-datepicker. I'm just using his own functionality, and then once it's done, I write the daynum data attribute right here once the calendar's done. The actual task master itself, the list down here, this thing that's got my little list, this runs off of this task list in the local storage, and then from here, that gets converted for the calendar to have a timestamp that matches what's in the day attribute, or the day num. And then from there, we'll render the calendar. Anyway, so as you can see here, the date selector, first off, when you write something, like which day does it start, well, that's obviously just going to be the day you are currently in. So whatever event it is, it starts, the first day is that day, and then you set it with the rest of the day here. Right there. And so you can obviously set your priority levels, and this is how you share your files. And if you recognize this is actually the same CRUD, the create, read, update, and delete application that you'll see over here on my Build Your Own Word Trivia, which you can also share and play with friends and make up your own trivia and trade it. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you're ever interested in taking a look at NPM, and you can see here that they do have the js-datepicker is just a free thing that you can use. And that's all I'm doing, is I'm just basically, I plugged in the js-datepicker, I got my hooks in it, and I applied my my list with dates to compare. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you learned something about how to grab hold of a calendar, any calendar, and just apply whatever you want to it. One thing I also want to point out here is that we have a comparison. So we got 1 day till time is up, 4 days, 3 days, 61, and 45. These are all going to be coming through when I tell it to length of time function. And so basically I know that today is going to be the day for the first day, and the second is going to be the day that is applied here with my date options right there. And so I can parse these two out and then compare them, and I find out how much time is left. And that's how I do my length of time countdown for these items here. So you have 3 days until this, and let's say, for instance, my play my sports, and today is the 18th, but I was supposed to do it on the 17th. Oh, well, I gotta play sports. There you go. As you can see, play sports, negative day 1. It was supposed to be yesterday. And this one's 4. So school exam. And let's just say it was a ways back. Boom, negative 6 days. So I just want to let you know a little bit more about how you compare and contrast the two.